In the heart of the Circuitry Citadel, where the hum of high-voltage wires never slept, lived Arlo. He was a mouse of meticulous talent, a mechanical engineer who could fix a microprocessor with a toothpick and a steady paw. While the other lab residents, the boisterous bears and the chatty chimps, shouted their successes across the floor, Arlo worked in the quiet corners. He preferred the rhythmic click of gears to the clamor of conversation. His ideas were grand, but his voice was like a whisper in a wind tunnel, rarely heard and even more rarely shared. One Tuesday, the lead researcher, a wise and silver-furred rat named Theron, scurried over to Arlo's station. Theron was known for spotting talent long before it spotted itself. He laid a heavy, metallic folder on the desk. "Arlo," Theron said, his voice crackling like an old radio, "your design for the Omnilink engine is revolutionary. The Laboratory Council needs to hear about it. I've scheduled you for the keynote presentation next Monday in the Grand Auditorium." Arlo felt his whiskers twitch in a sudden, sharp panic. The rest of the week was a blur of blueprints and bile. Every time Arlo tried to practice his speech, his throat felt like it was filled with dry sawdust. He stood before his bathroom mirror, trying to look commanding, but all he saw was a small mouse in an oversized lab coat. "The Omnilink. It connects the..." he squeaked, his voice failing him. He realized that building a world-changing engine was easy, but telling the world about it felt like climbing a mountain made of glass. Theron found Arlo later that evening, slumped over a pile of discarded notes. The older rat didn't offer a lecture. Instead, he brought a small, brass tuning fork. He struck it against the table, and a clear, resonant note filled the room. "The music isn't in the fork, Arlo," Theron whispered. "It's in the vibration. Your nervousness is just energy that hasn't found its frequency yet. Don't try to be a bear. Just be the mouse who knows exactly how this engine breathes." The morning of the presentation arrived with a cold, relentless rain. Arlo stood in the wings of the auditorium, clutching his tiny laser pointer. Through the heavy velvet curtains, he could hear the low rumble of the council, 100 sophisticated scientists waiting to be impressed. His paws were cold, and his heart was hammering a frantic rhythm against his ribs. He felt like a single bolt trying to hold together a collapsing skyscraper. "Our next presenter," the announcer's voice boomed, "is Arlo, on the Omnilink project." Arlo stepped out onto the stage. The podium was a towering monolith of mahogany that made him feel like an ant. The microphone was a giant, silver orb hanging from the ceiling, cold and indifferent. He looked out at the sea of faces, and for a moment, the world went silent. He forgot his opening line. He forgot his own name. Then, he saw Theron in the very first row. The old rat wasn't looking at the crowd. He was looking at Arlo with a calm, steady nod. He tapped his chest, right where the heart is. Arlo took a deep breath, and instead of looking at the scientists, he looked at his schematics projected on the giant screen behind him. He saw the gears, the circuits, and the beautiful, logical flow of his creation. The machine was his friend, and it was time to speak for it. When Arlo finished, the silence that followed wasn't cold. It was the silence of a crowd that had been moved. Then, the sound started, a low thumping of paws that grew into a deafening roar of applause. The council members were standing, their faces lit with genuine wonder. Arlo stood at the edge of the podium, his tiny chest heaving. He had found the frequency. He hadn't just given a presentation, he had shared his soul through the language of engineering. "The Omnilink does not just transfer power," Arlo began. His voice was small at first, but as he spoke about the torque and the tension, it grew. He pointed at the screen, his movements becoming fluid and energetic. "It listens to the system. It harmonizes the output." As he lost himself in the mechanics, the auditorium seemed to shrink. He wasn't a mouse in a room full of giants anymore. He was a master of his craft, explaining the universe one gear at a time. Later, back in the quiet hum of the lab, Arlo and Theron shared a celebratory toasted cheese sandwich. The heavy folder was gone, replaced by a gold-leafed commendation. "You were loud today, Arlo," Theron chuckled, "and you didn't even have to shout." Arlo smiled, picking up his tweezers to return to a new project. He was still a small mouse in a big lab, but he knew now that his voice was a tool just as powerful as any wrench or welder, ready to be used whenever the world needed to hear the music of the gears.